Welcome to round 6 of the 2011 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth, and we're at the famous Circuit de Saint-Julie just outside of Montreal for a spectacular day of motocross racing. Brian, look at the Bluebird skies. We've got a great setup here.
Absolutely, the track here undulating up and down hills. Here at the front portion by the Monster finish, more kind of supercrossy, and then you can see the beautiful rolling hills undulating up and down. A real technique course with braking, off cambers, acceleration and throttle control. Really going to be the key here. But what I like about this track is there's a lot of passing opportunities. You can do some setups.
An absolutely gorgeous facility, Fabs. Okay, the MX2 boys are on the line, and this is one of my favorite starts. The start is actually down in the bowl, and they come flying up into that big right-hander for the first turn. So we've got ourselves an impressive day here. Great shot at the number 102, Austin Politelli, who went 1-1 last week in the Gopher Dunes. And the hometown boy, number 15, Kevin Benoit, second in points in the MX2 class. Take it, Goldie!
Boys under the KTM Royal Distributing Thor tent with current runner-up in the MX2 points, Kevin Benoit, buddy. A year ago today is when it kind of, I'd say maybe your life here turned around again. You put yourself on the map, became a factory star this year, second in points in 2011, and we're back at St. Julie, and you like this place.
Oh yeah, it's my home race. I live an hour away from here, and like you said, it all started here last year. Got my first overall ever, and I really like the track. I know the track really good, and I'm really confident for today.
You said it's been developing a little bit different. They tilted it maybe a little bit deeper. How do you change your mindset coming from what you saw there last year to what you're seeing here this year?
Well, we have to be careful. There's a lot of ruts in those blind downhills, and yeah, it's different than last year. Last year was pretty dry, and this year they watered the track a lot. So there's a lot of ruts, a lot of lines, so I think it's gonna be good racing.
All right, Gines, good job down in the pits to the starting line. There's Kevin there. He looks like he's already got his gate all prepped and nice. I like this right here. The brother Medaglia is lined up side by side. It's going to be an interesting whole shot to the series points after 5 of 9. Tyler out front. You can see Benoit and Politelli having a little bit of a battle. Jeremy with 3 DNFs sitting fourth. The rest of the boys there in the hunt's going to be tight come Walton.
Nice job, Fabulous. Okay, Monster Sonny says, hey, let's get this thing going. We'll be right back. This is Le Circuit de Saint-Julie, just outside of Montreal, Quebec. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth for the 6th round of the 2011 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. MX2 boys are on the line, and this first MX2 moto will be brought to you by Royal Distributing. Oh my goodness, Brian, what a fantastic shot of Monster Julie. The 30 board is up.
Julie in Saint-Julie. Boys are all kind of doing their last-minute rituals. The dogs with the hands, their last little nervous twitches, getting that out of the way as Red Julie goes to 5 here. Like you say, an uphill start, and it's a thrilling one. Who's going to get that Royal Distributing hole shot, Travis? They are drag racing up the hill.
A little bit of a problem in the back section, though, as they sweep up into this uphill right-hander. On the inside, it looks like the number 14 of Jeremy Medaglia on that Royal Distributing KTM with that Royal Distributing hole shot.
Well, Jeremy coming off a head injury, missing Gopher Dunes last week. So that is 2 of his 3 DNFs out front early with that patented clean air. Nice shot of the boys here on the GoPro helmet cam. Oh, and Nodit! Awesome! Nodit saves it there. What a gnarly inside line for him. So another really good start for that Washington native on the Moto Concepts privateer machine.
We've got an early battle for second place. The 373 of Topher Ingles on the outside, and the local boy, number 24, Jonathan Parise on that Shoots Kawasaki. Oh, Shoots! The Kawasaki is off into the Yamaha banner, and he's got a wheel full.
He's pulling a chute right there. He's got that Zox banner, no, the Yamaha banner, all getting caught up in his wheel. Oh. And Kieran Lee gets the brunt of that little package there, gets pushed out by Parise.
Some juicy ruts down in the bottom of turn 5 already, Brian, and of course we've only had practice in qualifying. This is the first moto of the day. Track looks like it's setting up nicely right now.
Well, they laid a lot of water down, so it's been pooling in some of the ruts and quite dusty up in the pro section there where they couldn't get any water trucks. Oh no! Tyler Medaglia, our series points leader, down early, and look at all that sauerkraut hanging off of the motorcycle. His controls, everything just covered in all that long grass. Brutal.
Fabs, let's go back on board the number 28 of Dylan Kale in the Suzuki for that GoPro start. Look at how he trims up at the inside. Medaglia just about hits the banners and comes right into the inside and gets that roll distributing hole shot.
What
Great
an
start.
awesome start. Great camera work from the GoPro. And Dylan Kalin really coming into his own this year. But it is this rider, Jeremy Medaglia, out front. And we've seen him in the past, Travs. Once he gets a hole shot, he can check out. It looks like he's doing just that.
Nice little cluster coming through the Yamaha banners. That's the 24 of Parise, and it looks like he's got the 907 of Kieran Lee coming down. These two got together on lap number 1. This time Lee goes inside into that deep. Oh, and it gets stymied early.
Man, those deep ruts just parked him, gets hung up in the undercarriage. So the Quad Pro Kenny KTM rider's got to regroup and try again on Parise.
The number 1 of Tyler Medaglia is sitting 35th. He's back up and running, but all eyes are at the front of the race right now. The number 14 of Jeremy Medaglia is leading the 373 of Topher Ingles, and he's keeping him in check.
Go for Dunes rider Ingles is on the gas. He makes a bit of mistake on acceleration. He's got lost a couple seconds there, another little dab, and Jeremy using some very creative lines from the inside where it's really smooth to the outside. 172, Jason Benny's hurting. You can tell by the body English head ref Paul Kingsley getting that bike off the track and out of harm's way.
The number 103 of Tyler Schoberg is on the move, Brian. He just slips by the 36 of Brad Nott, and that puts him in 7th place, back up to our leader. The number 14, Royal Distributing KTM of Jeremy Medaglia in first, but I'm telling you what, Topher Ingles is riding really well today, Brian.
He is charging hard, and this camera angle doesn't really show how steep it is, but I'm loving 28 Dylan Kalin sitting 4th, and he is on the move, coming off a terribly broken scaphoid, and there it is. There's the battle with Kieran Lee and Jonathan Parise, and it's back hot.
The 28 of Dylan Kalin sitting 4th, but the 3rd place bike is the 949 of Jared Williams on that Moose Racing FMF Cowie, so we got another new rider up in the fray here.
And we just saw Paulatelli there, 102 on the Monster Cowie, sitting 13, so bad starts for him and Schoberg, but this battle is hot again. Lee cannot find a way around Parise. He's looking everywhere on this racetrack. Look at the body English, and this is for 5th place, and we've got another rider joining the mix right there on the inside. It's another Kawasaki.
That's the 103 of Shelby Fabsori with a great line on the inside as he blows by Lee. What a pass.
I haven't seen anyone take that inside, so Schoberg's got his eyes wide open, looking for fast ways around. There goes Medaglia on the charge, gets by New Yorker Kenny Henry, and he's just breaking into the top 20 now from dead last.
The 103 of Tyler Schoberg using that front rhythm section to his advantage as he goes outside on Parise, and of course Parise easy to spot. He's got that Yamaha banner all wrapped up in his rear sprocket.
Nice outside to inside move for Shobi. He is on the move big time. Now the battle for 3rd is getting hot. That is Kalin on the inside of Williams. What a great line. Look at that execution by Kalin from Grand Bend, Ontario, riding that MCR Yoshimura Privateer Suzuki. Can't stress enough the stones on that kid coming off that scaphoid. He's only been on the bike a little while. To our leader, Jeremy, and Topher Ingles from Go for Dudes not giving him much room to breathe right now. He's keeping him honest, Strauss.
The fastest man on the track is the 103 of Tyler Schoberg as he swings by Williams on the outside with a nice pass, and look out, fast Eddie Kalin, here comes the 103.
Schoberg on the move, passing Williams in the exact same outside line. He passed Parise on the previous lap traps, so he is making every bump work for him. To our leader, Royal Distributing KTM rider, Medaglia, looking good right now, and he stretched it out a little bit on Topher.
Ingles and Medaglia getting into some lap traffic. Here's the 102 of Paulatelli, just taking care of business down in the bottom section as he swings by Parise for 7th, and another cluster of riders coming up.
Well, Parise has got a pack there, so he's got to keep his forward momentum going. Battle for 3rd, Kalin on that nice, smooth inside line. Schoberg does the crossover, though, to the outside. Schoberg's one of the only riders that seems to be able to pass right around the outside. To be fair to Kalin, he got a little wheel spin there and hung up. But what a pass by Schoberg. He's got a lot of confidence right now, Travis, and I thought it was Paulatelli that was maybe getting the upper hand under that Kawasaki tent, but it looks like Schoberg's the guy that's swinging some momentum around after Go for Dunes.
The 907 of Kieran Lee just slipped by Williams, so that puts him in 5th place. To our leader, number 14, Jeremy Medaglia in that back section, Brian. I love the undulations in this track. Up and down, great lines, great ruts. Woo, it's a beaut.
Yeah, it's awesome, and Topher's taking the same lines there as Jeremy. That outside is a little smoother, but maybe not necessarily the fastest way. Kalin now, oh no! Our 4th place rider, Kalin, has a big issue here. off this little knoll, and I rode this track yesterday, and it's so easy to flatland it. Here it is, there's a little knuckle right there. It looks like he's good, but the problem is he lands in that soft stuff. He could have saved that if it was dry, but it just hung up his front wheel enough to pitch him over the bars, so he's down, but the motor's still running. He won't have to kickstart if he gets his hand on that clutch, so lost a couple positions. We'll see what he can salvage here.
Looked like he hit a bit of a kicker coming up over top of that knoll, dropping down. Of course, as you said, soft end ruts to our leader, 14, Jeremy Medaglia on his final approach. Topher Ingles firing over the chasm, keeping it close in second place.
Topher's done a great job keeping Jeremy in check, but not able to make a move on him. Number one, Tyler Medaglia is starting to reel in the Keeney KTM rider of Kieran Lee from New Zealand here on the last lap.
And that was for fifth, Brian, as we look back to the number 14, Jeremy Medaglia coming in, looking for his second win of the season. First MX2 Moto here from the circuit to St. Julie. What a comeback, Fabs, after missing both motos last weekend at Gopher Dunes. Freestyle coming up.
In my head, I'm like, okay, like, come on now. It's been a while since I've done this, so.
To the Yamaha leaderboard, well done, Jeremy. Great ride for Paul Atelli and Tyler Medaglia coming from back in the pack. Not at 7th, Kalen after that crash 8th, but a great ride for Nathan Bless and Kyle Seidel.
Royal Distributing KTM Thor rider Jeremy Medaglia takes a huge rebound, buddy. You know what? I think he just took last weekend off. He just needed a break. Hey, you're a little tuckered out. You come back, win the moto today, buddy. You got to be smiling. A great way to get yourself back in the championship.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was, took a week off. I wanted to race, but couldn't. Obviously, I wasn't feeling 100%, but came back this weekend, just wanted to get a, maybe a top 5 podium, and then I got a whole shot and just went from there. It was awesome.
The 373 Gopher Dunes and the new blonde haircut rocking out a podium here, buddy. Second in that first moto, and you didn't let Jeremy get away either. You wanted something in that one.
Yeah, I got it. I pretty much had the whole shot and just kind of was a little too timid in the first turn, and then I just tried to hang with him as long as I could, and I didn't know if I was going to tire, but I felt really good and got a little second wind at about the halfway, and just tried to put my head down and keep him honest. So if you had made any mistakes, I'd be right there.
Nice job, Goose. Okay, the MX1 boys are out of staging and surveying their gate picks. Parker Allison getting a little bit of advice from the champion, Dusty Klatt. He says yes, and we're ready to go. Let's check out the points after 5 of 9 rounds. Fasciotti, of course, leading the charge. Klatt in second. Keast is now sitting in third. Moving down to Moffenbauer. Gorky after that double moto win. Phillips and Willard. And there is the 101 of Matt Gorky, the Floridian, up riding for that Monster Energy Kawasaki team. Brian Costner had a chance to catch up with him earlier.
Number 101, Matt Gorky here in the leading edge Kawasaki pit. Matt coming off a clean sweep at Gopher Dunes. You got to be feeling a whole world of new confidence coming into St. Julie.
Yeah, definitely. That helped my confidence a lot. That 3-week break, I got to train hard. Came out, won both motos, so feeling a lot better now.
You feel a little bit more respect when you walk through the pits after that win.
Yeah, definitely.
Matt Gorky all smiles today. Okay, the MX1 boys are going out for their parade lap. Quick little sight check before they come back, and we drop the gate. MX1 action coming up. This is round 6 of the 2011 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals from Le Circuit de Saint-Julie, just outside of Montreal. Mark Travers and Brian Costner in the booth. The lovely Monster Sonny with the 30 board, and the lovely Monster Julie, letting us know that this first MX1 Moto will be brought to you by MX Performance Magazine, the #1 motocross magazine in the country. And there they are, Fabs, the premier class, getting ready to rock and roll.
I like it. The teammates, Colton Fasciotti and Dusty Klatt, side by side. Way up here on the inside. It sounds good on paper, but we haven't seen many hole shots coming from the inside, so Klatt and Fasciotti just about 10-12 gates in. On board with number 9, Kevin Urquhart on that confused Kawasaki. Getting swallowed up by the pack tracks. A little wheel spin out of the hole for him, and Michael Willard, a lot of jostling going on, and this is motocross at its finest until we get a little roost right on our GoPro. End of story.
Let's go to the lead. Fabulous, the number 10 of Colton Fasciotti gets the hole shot, and he's out in front. And look at the number 3 of Bobby Canary going bar to bar with the champion Dusty Klatt over that big launcher.
What an aggressive move by Bobby K there on the Rockstar Suzuki, and it's Klatt right up the inside. Little leg work from Klatt there. The drag race is on. That is a 4th gear high-speed step up, and look at Canary fly an extra 15 feet there like he's got some wings on that Suzuki.
1 year ago today on the first lap of the first moto, at that time it was the number 1 of Colton Fasciotti, tripled off of that jump and piled himself up down in the corner. This time, very tentative, Brian, still in the lead.
Same scenario as last year. Moto 1 got into the lead, and that ended his season. Nice replay of the front runners right there. A little knocking going on, and this could be a very dangerous start. We've had guys lock handlebars in midair here, creating all kinds of carnage. Very safe. They talked about it in the riders meeting. Everyone giving each other some room here, and that is just a beautiful little piece of Canadian motocross there. I love that big step up.
When Colton Fasciotti gets out early, Brian, he puts the sprint on, and he's really pushing the motorcycle here in St. Julie this morning. I am loving it. The number 3 of Bobby Canary has got the 12 of Teddy Mayer all over as they head down into corner number 5. Big runs down there.
Teddy Mayer has been really coming into his own, Travs. We've seen him really rocking hard. He's starting to feel better. We know he's got this weird illness. He seems to push it out on race day, though. And Bobby Canary, with a great start, just throws it all away. There he is, just getting past. The motor is stalled. He's looking for neutral to try and fire up the big RMZ. So what a heartbreaker early for the Ocean Transportation boys. But we've still got a lot of racing in front of us. 6th place with Travis Sewell right there on the blue Yamaha, Travs.
It looks like he's going inside on the 46 of TJ Phillips on that Crossroads Cowie. Some great battling early up inside the top 10. Nice to see Sewell back, as we saw him for a couple of rounds last year, Brian, and he's super fast. The 101 of Matt Gorky slips by the 16 of Jared Allison as they come over that huge tunnel jump down into the valley and back up. Our leader, number 10, Colton Fasciotti, in control right now, Brian. Looking fit. I like it. Checking back to the 2nd place of the number 1 of Dusty Klatt. The gap is starting to open.
Wow, he's got at least 5 seconds early on. A lot of dust up here, and then it gets into some watered areas, and that is the main good rut. But we have seen a lot of passing up there from both the outside and inside. Michael Willard under braking takes care of TJ Phillips. That is 8th place with Liam O'Farrell right there. Nice shot of 7:13. Seb Dennis in 15th. That is the Ontario provincial champion on that Moto Park RMC 450. And he's got Keeson Urquhart right there.
Keeson Urquhart with terrible starts, so they're moving their way through the pack. Now TJ Phillips has got the 23 of Sean Moffenbauer hot on his tail. They scrub over the finish line. Moffenbauer's got that inside line through these switchback sections, Brian. Sean Moffenbauer, super aggressive. Very impressed with this young 18-year-old so far this season.
Big time. He's been around for a couple years, and he's just getting stronger and stronger every year. That pass for 9th place in the books. Willard chasing Orange Motorsport Bondi engine rider O'Farrell. We're going trackside with the golden one.
All right, boys, coming into this MX1 number 1 moto here. Colton Fasciotti has gone, but the battle right now is for 3rd spot between Teddy Mayer and Matt Gerke, our winner last weekend. Another quick update, guys. Kyle Keast and Bobby Canary are down a lap in this moto. Teddy Mayer running 3rd. He's getting good points on those points like Kyle Keast stole for him last weekend. Send her back to the monkeys in the booth.
Monkeys in the booth. Nice work out there, G's. Let's get back to the battle for 3rd place. Teddy Mayer has got a rear view mirror full of the 101 of Matt Gorky. These guys have been together just about the whole moto.
Gorky showing he can ride more than just sand now that his wrist is healing. Billy Ainsworth now under pressure from the 449 of Kessler on that MCR entry, and that is over the tunnel leading down to the start line, and Kessler has it, but Ainsworth is battling back hard. That is around 20th place.
Back to our leader, number 10, Colton Fasciotti. Got the whole shot's been in the lead, and what a great way to come back after finishing 2nd place in both motos last weekend, Fast.
And after being injured here on this track, so those demons well behind him, but it's this man, Dusty Klatt, chasing hard and scrubbing everything in sight. He is on the move. Mason Phillips now with Jared Allison down into one of these off cameras under braking. 6th place move for the New Zealander Phillips on that Quad Pro Kinney KTM. But it's Gorky now, Traz. He is starting to pressure teammate number 12, Teddy Mayer.
Gorky's been keeping that gap in that 1 to 3 second range, Brian. He's just looking for way around Mayer, but Mayer's defense been spectacular. Moving up to the number 16 of Jared Allison, and the 22 of Liam O'Farrell goes outside, inside with a great pass coming out of the valley.
Up that hill, it proves he's got a lot of motor coming out of that Bondi 450. Makes the move on the Blackfoot Direct Bike. That is 7th place. But like you said, Trav, this battle's been raging for a long, long time. Gorky able to close, and then he starts trying creative lines to get in closer and losing time. I like Gorky's line there on that fresh black soil on the inside. He's getting some good hook up there. Gorky, a master of the inside line. You watch that guy, he knows how to pick them.
Those riders flying over the chasm, of course. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin there, Brian, coming out of the corner. Gorky dives on the inside. Does he have 3rd place? Yes, he does. Think about the traction out here, Brian. There's areas where it's tacky and the ruts are big, but up in that section, it's slippery. Very silty in those corners.
And it's not only loose, Travs, on the back end, it's also very loose for the front end. You can really dish out and low slide, or you can spin out. So it is pretty technical out here, the way the track is set up. It's very hot out today, so they put moisture down and it evaporates quickly, so a little bit of dust and a little bit of moisture, pretty tricky for these guys.
Talk to me about tire selection, because you do have tacky areas and then you do have those sandy areas. Where are they going with that?
Well, that's what you call a dichotomy, and you can see those shiny bits, so it's a compromise. You want to get good hookup here or there. So, the Gorks has slid out, Travs. Low slide. We just talked about low slides. The Gork man down, keeps it running. He's in fourth, but boy, what a gift for Teddy right there.
Came over that big tunnel jump. Looked like he was going to dive in on the inside rut, and then we didn't see that front end slip out. Mayer slips by him in third. Gorky's still in fourth.
A heavy battle there for the Kawasaki's. Looks like Mayer in control with Dusty Klatt getting the last lap flag. Fasciotti's already been by, and there is our current leader. Great legwork for Fasciotti. He knows it's the last lap, so he's just cruising in. He's got a nice lead. 7th place for Phillips. Look at this, Travs, no seat. He's sitting on the frame rails. He has lost the seat on that KTM, and there it is. Gauldy picks it up off the track. What a great report from Ryan Gauld. So definitely no seat for Phillips. He's gonna have a sore bum after this.
To the number 10 of Colton Fasciotti on his final approach, Brian, coming out of the valley and taking the checker flag for the first MX1 Moto here from St. Julie. Colton Fasciotti back on top.
Nice job, Travs. To our Yamaha leaderboard, we know our top 4. How about Sewell 5th, O'Farrell hanging tough in 6th, Phillip with no seat. Soldiers into 7th, Allison 8th, Moffenbauer and Willard rounded out.
One thing I want to ask you is, obviously you had some problems last year, big crash in that first moto that took you out for the rest of the season. As a rider, when you're going out there, were you thinking about that, or was it back of the mind, wasn't even worrying about it, especially on that first lap?
Yeah, I maybe took it a little bit easier, just really focused on my lines and stuff. I actually crashed just at the end of that moto, made a stupid mistake, and that's what I got to stay away from, just ride smart and have fun out there.
Obviously last weekend, thinking about your finishes, that's not where you want to finish, and we realize that you're a little under the weather, but you have to like coming back and getting a strong performance in that first moto. And I mean, let's face it, that battle for third place was a long one.
Yeah, it was. I started switching up some lines, and they weren't the smoothest, but I had to protect myself, and I felt good. So I'm glad to be here. I mean, come last Wednesday, I wasn't even gonna plan on coming. I couldn't even get off the couch without just getting busy and weak, and so I just thank God, and getting my wife, getting me back to normal, and just keep plugging away and heal and come back 100% before the season ends.
All these guys are tough customers. We've got some freestyle action. Benoit Malo, Amnesia next.
Welcome back to the Circuit de St. Julie. Brian Coster and Mark Travers in the booth as we get ready for halftime. This is the second round of the Eastern Canadian CMRC Women's Championship, and they had a pretty full gate, Brian, coming around this corner with a great start. Loving the number 129 of Morgan Gillis. Nice to see some two-strokes out on the track.
Yeah, I was just about to say, a familiar blast from the past. The sound of those 125s revving out. Nice shot of Taylor Miller up from Alabama, and she is our defending champion. She was the class in the field. Kristen McDonald keeping her honest, and Carly Podzikoff, number 4, also always a threat. And right here, Lavassier, she's pretty fast on that Orange Motorsports KTM.
The 181 of Brianna DeGray, who finished second at Gopher Dunes, had her problems on the hardpack, Brian, but let's be honest, the class of this field was the number 1 of Taylor Miller. She hole shot at both motos and took control. But this is where we see young riders coming out, like Morgan Gillis we talked about, starting to show their wares, battling into second, third spots. We had some good racing on the track today.
Yeah, very aggressive riding from Gillis. A lot of these girls starting to get closer and closer to riders like number 1 Taylor Miller. And Miller right now is undefeated on Canadian soil here in 2011.
She's getting ready to close in on her second championship. Of course, she won the overall last year at Walton. And there's your top 3 from round 2 here at St. Julie. Miller, Gillis, and Pozdnikov. Okay, Brian, a little bit of freestyle action from Benoit Milo and Max Pilon. Take it away. This is Le Circuit de Saint-Julie, and you are watching the 6th round of the 2011 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth, bringing you MX2 race action. This second MX2 moto will be brought to you by Unit Clothing. Thank you very much, Monster Sonny, as RJ gets that 30 board up, Fabs.
Well, Travs, rendered somewhat speechless there. The Monster Girls plying their trade here for the second MX2 moto. 5-second board is up. We had a really good first moto. Some situations out on the track for this one. There's Jeremy right up the inside. We haven't seen many hole shots there. He gets a good jump though, Travs.
Jumping on board the number 45 of Nicky Beatty on that MCR entry. Boy, he gets swallowed up early, Brian, as we move ahead to the number 103 of Tyler. Show me the money. Schoberg getting that royal distributing hole shot.
This is much better for his race because he came from behind in the first one up into second place, and there's some close proximity racing. Benoit, the hometown boy though, Travs, he had problems in the first moto that we didn't touch on. He got a rock through the case, lost all the oil, so 0 points for him. Now out front.
Benoit took his first moto win last year in the second moto. Look at Medaglia on the inside of Schoberg as they fly down into the valley and pop back up on that big lifter. Medaglia in second place, so a great comeback for him as well.
Medaglia Boston chops early on Schoberg. We saw his first moto almost dead last. Now he's up front where he needs to be. We'll see if he can do something with it. Down into this hole here, we had a problem with one of the water mains exploding, and look at the carnage. Just dreadful for these guys on the opening lap.
Now those riders would have seen it on parade, Brian. I think that's why Benoit used that outside, but let's face it, that is disgusting. Oh my, we've got some slippery tires coming out of that muddy section. Down into these valleys, it looks like the number 907 of Kieran Lee working up on the 24 of Jonathan Paris. So these two riders finding themselves again. But Brian, every one of these low-lying areas has got tons of water in it.
Well, we had huge watering issues too. Some of the track guys here not quite prepping the track as good as they did yesterday for the action. There's Kieran Lee, muddy knobbies, and then he hits that dry, shiny stuff face down.
Fabulous. The battle for the lead is hot, hot, and more hot. Medaglia has closed up on Benoit. Through that top section, goes inside over the chasm, bar to bar. Fabulous. Loving the aggression of Medaglia on the inside. Oh, and he blows Benoit over that silty berm up top.
Wow, Tyler came in there like gangbusters on that last braking bump, and Benoit was way out in the Hindle. Banner's lucky to save it. Here it is. Tyler gets on the gas, a little bit of wheel spin there for Benoit. You can see the suspensions compress over the chasm as they drag race in, and right there is the move by Tyler under braking, able to stay inside. I thought he was going to go wide there too, and he just tosses it in that berm. Benoit trying to race, had nowhere to go but outside of that big silty berm.
And think about what they're dealing with right now. A muddy track in some places, and look at this. Benoit goes down in a simple rutted area up top, and then those super dry areas in the back section. It's pretty dodgy up here, my friend.
That dirt too is very tacky, and it sticks to everything. Benoit doesn't lose any positions. He loses just a little bit of his jam though.
Dylan Kalin sitting in third place right now as we move back to the battle for seventh. It looks like we have Ingalls, Generu, and Politelli mixing it up out of corner number 5.
Well, Kalin is no fluke. He is running up front yet again. I really like this section of the track here. You got to break over this knuckle, and we saw Kalin crash there in the first one. You can see all the water pooling down in these ruts, Travis. It is hard going for these riders.
And he picked a different line going over the knuckle, so smart for Kalin, good eyes. This is the battle for second place. Benoit, Kalin, and then Schoberg making this a nice little 3-pack as we move back to the 373 of Ingalls and Politelli, who is just covered in muck, but he tucks in on that nice run. I like that one.
Well, it goes from wet to dry to wet, and Politelli, you can see covered in mud with some nice leg work here in the banks. New section here over the little road jump. Cuts to the inside, gets a nice bite on the rut, and Ingalls on the outside. The drag race is on up here in the chasm, and it's all about braking here. Looks like Ingalls has him handled for now, Travis.
Ingalls sitting in 5th place right now, Brian. Politelli looking for lines around. I like the way that Ingalls used the outside through that silty berm. Coming down into this section normally, heavily rutted up on the inside. Politelli's got a problem, Brian.
Fully stifled right there. I thought he was making a great move. Using that outside line at the bottom of the hill can set you up for the inside. He just comes to a screeching halt, Travis, in one of these deep ruts.
The 103 of Tyler Schoberg on the outside over the tunnel. Looks like he's got Dylan Kalin in his sights. Kalin on the inside right here. Drag race up the hill. Up in the big lifter into the Yamaha corner. Again, wheel spin and puddles, Brian. Wow.
Well, Schoberg loves that outside through the Yamaha right-hander. Kalen there kind of bounced on the step up. They're doubling down. They can triple down here, but look what they're landing in. It is just getting pretty gross down there. Kalen on the inside rut, not giving up at all on Schoberg. There is a serious race going on for third right now.
Back to our leader, the number 1 of Tyler Medaglia, Red Bull Blackfoot Yamaha, using the high line through the Smith corner and dabbing through those deep ruts, Brian. Good call.
It is very treacherous out here for these riders everywhere. We've got ruts not only in the corners, but after some of the jumps and on the jump faces. A couple local boys battling for 9th. That's Jonathan Parise and Marc-Antoine Genereux. At least Parise has no banners in his wheel this moto.
26 of Genereux, a big man on the motorcycle, in 9th place right now, riding for that Duroy KTM team. There's the 15 of Kevin Benoit in 2nd place, and back to Shobi. Oh, little check off, Lapper in the way, and Schoberg in 3rd.
Schoberg is really on the hunt right now, taking his time around a lap where you don't want to get tangled up with those guys. This is 5th place. It's pretty hot right there with Kalen. He's very careful on that jump because he doesn't want to go down again.
The number 373 of Topher, Ingles, Gofford, and Suzuki had already slipped by Kalen for 4th, and now Politelli gets by on the inside, puts him into the top 5.
Well, Politelli has eaten a lot of roost in this moto, so I'm sure he's happy to be in front of Kalen. The roost out here is punishing, and it is pulverizing up into the face and knuckles and whatnot. And there is Medaglia just buttering it, going trackside with the G-Man.
Okay, guys, right now, here it is. You can't tell from that 3rd plate. The 373 of Gofford is Topher Ingles sitting in 4th position. That right now, if it stays this way, Tyler Medaglia, Topher Ingles, and Tyler Schoberg are going to tie for 1st overall with 40 points. But the second moto matters. Right now, Tyler Medaglia leads. He hangs on to it. He gets another overall. Coming down to the end, fellas.
Drop G hanging around in the trenches. Fabs okay to the number 15 of Kevin Benoit, getting his last lap flag in 2nd place as we look back to the number 103 Tyler Schoberg, a scant 4 or 5 seconds back.
Well, Traz, we just got a report that Jerry Medaglia has pulled off the track, and that is bad news for him after winning the first moto. That's going to cost him dearly, not only in points, but the overall cash here today.
I'm thinking with Benoit's problem in the first moto, so not a great day for KTM. Of course, this is their sort of local race because their shop is right in Montreal. A lot of people coming out to support them today. To our leader, the number 1 of Tyler Medaglia, getting through lap traffic over the chasm on his final approach. But I'm liking this battle for 17th, Brian. It looks like the number 36 of Brad Noddet has got the 34 of Richard Gray all over him through that low section in the back.
Poor motos for both these riders coming from way back in the pack. Noddet won't be happy, nor will little Richard, but this man sure will. Tyler Medaglia, Blackfoot Yamaha, goes 5th in the first moto from dead last, wins this one. That's what this guy's all about, so he's gonna feel very fresh and confident going into round 7 in Moncton. To our second moto results brought to you by Yamaha. Ingles 4th, Lee recovers for 6th, Kalen, Genereux, Guillaume, and Levine.
It's funny, we've seen so far this season, when you get yourself into a situation where you don't get a great start, you usually finished about 3rd. You get a good start, you win. I mean, is it that easy? Is it that simple when we look at it?
Well, it's just I put in a lot of work this year, and I really worked on my fitness and my training because, hopefully next year I'll be up to the big bikes, so I kind of want to build up my fitness and so I can, keep the ball rolling and, keep riding hard. But I feel good out there. My bike's really good this year, and, I can't say enough for my team who've helped me out so much.
Let's talk about the fact that a rider of your caliber coming back from a tough moto in the first one, you have to mentally put that behind you, don't you?
Yeah, you have to forget about it. It's over. It's not fun when we have bike issues, but it happens once in a while. And I try to put it to the side and concentrate on my second moto, and it was good.
On the podium once again is number 103 Tyler Schoberg, 3rd place, second MX2 moto here from St. Julie. Tyler, a nice solid ride out there on what I would call a very difficult track late in the day.
Yeah, the track first laps, it was really muddy. I got splashed with a puddle, and I lost my goggles second or third lap. I had to take them off because every time I'd pull, it would just, so it went under. So, it's sort of a little more difficult riding without goggles out there because every time I came around Lapper or someone in front of me, I was just getting pelted in the face with rocks and dirt. So, but to finish out 3rd and 2nd overall for the day, can't be mad with that.
Great day of racing here in St. Julie. So after 6 of 9 rounds in MX2, 54 points back is Benoit, then Politelli, and Jerry Medaglia, after 4 DNFs, still sits 4th. And there's our overall winners on the day. Ingles hangs on to 3rd. We got the MX1 boys lining up next.
Riders are on the line for the final moment of the day here from the circuit to St. Julie. Brian Coster, Mark Travers in the booth. The lovely Monster Sunny getting out onto the track as Julie brings the Moto 2 board across this second MX1 Moto. Will be brought to you by Smith Optics. Great shot of the boys on the line, Brian. Let's hope the track is set up a little bit from that dodgy mess we had in that last Moto, Fabs.
I think it has dried a little bit, and speaking of Smith Optics, a lot of the teams are sponsored by Smith, and there's a nice shot of the Royal Street KTM of Robbie Marshall sporting these Smith Optics goggles, focusing on the line. 5-second board goes sideways, and the game is down. A big drag race into the first turn. Look at this GoPro shot on board with Sean Moffenbauer, Travis, and there goes Fasciati to the side. He didn't get the whole shot.
As you can see from our inset, Brian, we're following the lead package over the line. Dusty Clack got the Royal Distributing hole shot, but the action is intense on board with Moffenbauer. Here we go. Whoa, Fat Yotes.
He goes sideways, and I think Moffenbauer hit the same rut as Colton triples into this corner. Look at all the lines forming here. This jump, you have an issue with the wind that pushes you back, and then over this nice step-up table. Great images from GoPro, drag racing up the step-up. Look at the ruts here. It is sketchy, Travis.
Moffenbauer blows by Keist on the step-up as he got by Boswell on the inside. So a lot of great action up here right now. Looks like Moffenbauer sitting about 7th, 8th here.
Keist will have none of it up the inside. You can just see his fender. He does not want to be passed by Moffenbauer. Oh, and Moffenbauer, you can see, makes some moves there. He gained some positions and then lost one to Bobby Canary, who just found some traction there big time.
You know, the thing I'm noticing, Brian, is how deep the ruts are all over the track. It is a very dangerous race course. Look at those.
For sure, it is very, very dangerous, sketchy. The riders really have to keep 100% focus on what they're doing and just hold on tight. But if you hold on too tight, you get the arm pump and can go over the bars as well. So this is a treacherous racetrack. What appreciation for what these guys go through. Nice pass on Jared Allison there from Moffenbauer.
Moffenbauer hanging it on the outside as they drop back down into the valley. Looks like he's got the number 3 of Bobby K in tow. So really great images from the GoPro angle. Now let's get back to our lead package. It looks like Fasciati starting to make his way up on the number 101 of Matt Gorky. No, that's the 774 of Robbie Marshall with a nice little scrubber as they drop down into turn 5.
So Klatt now starting to check out on the field. Robbie Marshall taking the same lines as Colton. Why mess with Colton's lines? You know he's got some good ones out there. So Marshall sitting 4th in behind Cole, but Cole looks like he wants 2nd from Gorky up the inside. He has got it. Gorky had that smooth, fast outside line, but Fasciati just seems to get the traction and makes it work with some great leg work right through the middle.
I can't believe Gorky left the door open. I realized the outside is smoother, but with Fasciati coming down the inside, you got to protect. Back to the battle for 8th place. Keist on the inside. He's got Moffenbauer looking wide through the Cowie corner. Let's go on board.
And this is awesome. Keist cuts in and just look at this. You're not out here to make friends, I tell you. Keith's protecting his line. He got by up the inside. And this is a rough and tumble sport, and you're not necessarily got to be polite out here when the gate drops.
Fasciati has closed the gap on Klatt for the lead as they scrub over the finish line side by side, Brian. Oh, I tell you what, the spectators are getting a handful here.
This is a great spectator track. Klatt on the inside. Look at Fasciati just rail that silty outside powder berm. This is a double, triple. All these pro guys tripling. And now look at Fasciati. He goes outside, inside. He's looking around, but definitely wants to stay out of that roost.
Oh, Klatt with a little English over the tunnel jump. He had a great lead on Fasciati, but Fasciati does have some great lines out here. Close the gap, and I like Klatt's defense now that he's got Fasciati in his rearview mirror.
Fasciati jumping a little bit further up the inside, having a peek. Klatt is under pressure for sure. We've seen Dusty in this position before, and Colton is just so bossy out there on the bike. He just seems to make these passes where passes shouldn't be made.
Well, Fabs, you were calling him the Red Bull. He is that for sure. Again on the inside. Looks like Klatt's got a problem on the outside line. Here they go, dropping down to the Valley Bar to bar, Fabs.
Klatt's got to get out of the throttle to avoid tipping over. Fasciati comes over, contact. There you go. There's one of those bossy, bullish moves for first place. And we can see all the tear-offs are gathered up on one side of Fasciati's helmet there on the right side. So he's got a bit of issues there with his tear-off and vision system.
Nice little cluster for 7th. Keist on the inside, then Urquhart, then the McKinney KTM of Mason Phillips, who's having a great day. I love how close these guys are, but you got to be careful, Brian. You talked about that punishing roost.
This is one of the best battles on the track. I like the move right there. Urquhart finds a puddle, but look at where McKinney Johnny Red Bull Machinist right up the inside, gets a little drifty there and almost low slides, but what an aggressive move by the Kiwi Phillips up the inside with some good leg work. Oh, bounces in there, G's out the suspension through the MSP low slider. Holy smokes, evasive action by Urquhart up the inside as Phillips struggles to get on that 350. Keeps it running though, tries great for him and his Kinney Red Bull machine.
A pile of riders sliding by as we see the number 23 Sean Moffenmeyer move up on Urquhart as we go back onto the GoPro helmet cam, Brian, dropping down into the 5. Look at these ruts, it's ugly coming down across it. Oh, no, Moffenmeyer, he gets a face full.
He just eats you know what right there. Down he goes, sampling. He's facing the wrong way on the racetrack. Oh my goodness, Moffenmeyer giving us those outstanding images. Urquhart triples down, lands in the ruts. Moffenmeyer's focused. He says, I'm making my move right here, but oh no, loses the front end and just classic high side and endos over the bars. Man, oh man, he's a tough nut though, Trav. He's gonna get up and running, and our leader is down. Fasciotti is down, and Klatt goes by. Lapper's got to make some evasive action, but again, keeps that motor running, and we know that's vitally important with these hot four-strokes mid-moto. They don't always like to start, but, you know, Moffenmeyer, I noticed when he got up, the bike started first kick while still in gear. A lot of times you got to find neutral, so look at Moffenmeyer back up and running. Starting to pick his way back up towards the front.
Moffenmeyer going inside on Jared Allison, then passes for 12th after they get there. He's been super aggressive in this moto, getting back to the number 10 of Colton Fasciotti, who had the lead. Brian put it down in a soft corner, just showing how difficult this track is, sitting in second place. Let's check back to third. Fabs, look at that. The number 1 of Dusty Klatt must have gone down. He is sitting in second.
Well, Travis, we got a report on Dusty that he laid it down in that big silty right-hander after the chasm. Lucky to hold on a second because the Gortman's coming on like gangbusters there, getting a little wheel spin. He's trying hard with Teddy Mayer, his teammate, in 4th. So Mayer holding the Monster Energy Kawasaki honor up here. We're going trackside with our guy, Ryan Gall.
All right, guys, a 774, Robbie Marshall right now running 5th. This is what he needs to do. This guy is fighting for his ride, along with Michael Werler, who's not having a good moto. Up front, it's the Blackfoot guys once again. Fasciotti goes down, still comes back and gets Klatt. Not too sure how to stop this guy. Apparently, Gerke knows how in the sand, but not here in the hard pack of St. Julie. Let's wrap it up, boys.
Thanks, Galdi. Back to the battle for 10th place. Moffenmeyer with the bit between his teeth, Brian. He's been super aggressive after the get down. Over the tunnel, jump on the inside to the key. Oh, and he takes care of an inside line. What a pass. What a brash move for that young fella.
Unbelievable there. He just so laid on the brakes and just kept his momentum up. So the moto is winding down. I don't know if Phillips might be tiring a little after his crash, but oh my goodness, Moffenmeyer in shape and taking charge.
Colton Fasciotti crosses the finish line and takes the second MX1 Moto win. Gets the clean sweep here at round 6 after going 2-2 last week and finishing second place. You know he is furious about it. Fabs, let's go to that Yamaha leaderboard.
Thanks, Travis. We know our top 4. Canary sneaks by Marshall. Keast holds on to 7th. Sewell 8th. Sean Moffenmeyer with that crash 9th. Jared Allison 10th.
Blackfoot Yamaha Red Bull Fox making it another 1-2 day. Dusty, a solid moto out there. We got some ripped jerseys, so we know you hit the dirt, my friend, but you never gave up once again. Another solid day and a little bit closer to Colton once again. You never gave up in that moto.
No, I mean, I obviously tried right from the start, and I got a wicked hole shot, got a good jump, and was able to keep up front for a little bit and try to put on a charge and just use a lot of different lines. I mean, the track was way different than it was in the second one, so. And it was also a lot drier, too, so it made some of the coming up on lappers and stuff, it made it a little bit tougher. And obviously after Colton fell there, when I did fall, I was, because of lappers, I had to go out in the soft stuff and my front end went out, but that's racing, right?
Monster leading edge Kawasaki, Matt Gorke doing it 2 weeks in a row up on the box. Not where you wanted to be like Gopher Dunes, but seems like the ball may be rolling here. You got some good things going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to get 3rd. I didn't ride that good. They were riding really good on this track. It was sketchy. I just couldn't get a flow, but happy to at least get 3rd.
Okay, Fabs, let's go to our series points in the MX1 class after 6 of 9 rounds. Fasciotti in total control. Mayer now back in 3rd place. Canary in 5th. Then we have Urquhart, Gorke, Moffenmeyer, Phillips, and Michael Willard.
Well, Travis, these boys deserved it today on a hot, muggy day on a really rough and tumble track. There's our top 3 from St. Julie.
Nice job, Fabs. You have been watching the 2011 Monster Energy Motocross Nationals. Brought to you by Motovan.com, Canada's source for power sports parts and accessories. Next week, the series heads to Moncton, New Brunswick in the Riverglade MX track. For Brian Coster, Ryan Gold, Brett Lee, and the Grand Poopa, I'm Mark Travers. Cheers.